Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Kính chào quý vị. Cảm ơn quý vị đã tham dự buổi.
We're welcoming you to tonight's presentation about our back to school plan in HISD. My name is Candice Castillo, and I'm the Executive Director of Equity and Outreach. We want to remind our audience that whoever is needing of the to use the live translation feature is available in the bottom of your screen. Para las personas que hablan en español y desean seguir esta presentación, escuchando el audio en español, pueden seleccionar el icono de Interpretation que aparece en la parte inferior de su pantalla y seleccionar Spanish para seguir la presentación en español. Tonight, I'm going to be welcoming our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Miller House, who's going to be sharing with you some very important information about our back to school reopening plan. Superintendent House.
Thank you, Candice, and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. Since day one in my role as superintendent, I've been working diligently with each one of our leaders and staff preparing to welcome back our students after the many months that they have been out of our physical classrooms. The recent developments around COVID-19 Delta variant has impacted all of us, and we have taken additional steps to ensure that the safe in-person experiences of our students, staff, and visitors are number one. We've been working closely with the health and education officials to ensure that we provide a safe environment for all of our students and staff. So as we prepare to welcome our students back on Monday, August the 23rd, here are some guidelines that will help all of us and your children to have a safe and positive back to school experience. As many of you know, yesterday, the Board of Education passed a resolution to support my recommendation for a mask mandate. The mask mandate is just one of several measures that can help keep our children safe. We're going to review those measures in more detail this evening. After today's meeting, you will receive an email from me with a recording of this meeting, as well as the detailed Ready, Set, Go plan. Masks, face coverings will be required for all students, staff, and visitors. Face covering must be worn properly, covering the nose and the mouth. Masks will be available on all of our school buses and school campuses. There are some expectations to this mask mandate. For example, individuals may not be able to wear a mask due to medical reasons. Those medical exceptions will be honored based on submitted documentation from a U.S. licensed medical physician. Everyone else that can wear a mask will be expected to wear a mask for the safety of all students and staff. Our younger students in pre-K through third will be able to have 1 minute non-mask breathing breaks during the school day. Anyone non-compliant with mask mandates in our district will face disciplinary actions. In addition, students not comply with the mask mandate will be directed at home to be placed on temporary online learning. However, they will be counted as absent from their class for the amount of time they remain in temporary online learning. Our priority here is to keep everyone safe. Wearing a mask can help us do so. Monitoring your child for symptoms related to any communicable disease also helps to keep everyone safe. Elementary school students will have their temperatures checked before entering the campus on a daily basis. For students 12 and older, parents should monitor for symptoms and do temperature checks before they leave home. Vaccination is our best line of defense thus far. We want everyone who is eligible to be vaccinated, to get vaccine if possible. Of course, we know there are several different places across town where vaccinations are being offered, and we definitely would love to see people out at our Super Saturdays that's a partnership with the city of Houston. The district has a partnership, as I indicated, and there are several different dates throughout August and September that these vaccines can be acquired in our Super Saturdays. In addition, the district has been hosting clinics throughout August to provide our students with the opportunity to obtain immunizations that are required for school-age children. If your students become ill with COVID-19-like symptoms, they will be placed in an isolation area until you're able to pick them up from school. This is a separate area from the nurse's office and will be monitored by campus staff. We will be doing contact tracing in the event of a positive COVID case. This is important because we want to make certain that we don't have much communicable spread in our schools. What we've learned in public schools over the course of several months is that generally when we have high spread in our community, we typically, if utilizing the mitigation measures that like mask, hand washing, and other things that I'll talk about here later, we can have a much lower spread in our schools. Example, in my last school district, when we had 24% spread, and we ended our school year with 80% of our kids in person. When we had 24% spread in the community, we only had about 4% spread in schools. If your child is required to quarantine due to one of the 27 identified communicable disease, such as COVID-19 or chickenpox, pink eye, and others, your child may need to, of course, must stay home for the recommended time. The student will be placed in a temporary online learning platform and must engage in a minimum of 4 hours. And that's important to know and understand. That was a stipulation that was passed down from the Tennessee Education Agency. Again, the student will be placed in a temporary online learning platform and must engage in a minimum of 4 hours synchronous instruction to be counted as present. So that is an important piece. You will get this information after the presentation today. Any technology needs to fulfill this requirement can be arranged through your child's school campus. COVID testing is available, like I indicated earlier, through Harris County. I'm currently working on a proposal to make screen testing available at all of our campuses. But until then, you can find testing sites all around the city. Reminding our students to wash their hands or use the hand sanitation stations available in their campuses prior to eating is important, after using the restroom, as well as throughout the day. Also to cover their sneeze and cough using their elbow, tissue, or mask. All campuses will be sanitized and disinfected daily with medical grade cleaning supplies. High touch surfaces will be cleaned on a consistent basis, and campuses will be fogged every night. Campuses will receive per pupil allocations to have a flexible safety fund to purchase any additional items necessary to keep their students and the campuses safe during the pandemic. While physical distance is no longer required, we highly encourage it when space is allowed for it. Let's talk a little bit about school buses. Our school buses will resume normal operation to full capacity, and masks will be required on our school buses as well. Buses will be cleaned and sanitized regularly with hospital grade products here as well. Each bus will be equipped with hand sanitizer, disinfectant, towels, and first aid supplies. To facilitate the contact tracing, if needed, assigned seating will be observed on all of our school buses. If a student does not have a mask or face covering, one will be provided by the bus operator. Non-compliance with wearing a mask will warrant a meeting with the student's parent or caregiver. If the non-compliance continues, a student can lose their transportation privileges. Again, we need to do our utmost effort to keep everyone safe. In regards to student meals, breakfast will continue to be served in the classroom. However, lunch will be served in the cafeteria and assigned seats will be implemented in our cafeterias as well. Students are encouraged to keep their masks on when actively eating. Students are encouraged to keep their mask on when not actively eating or drinking. Of course, they can't keep their mask on while eating. Assigned seating assures that we can contact trace and ensure that we contact parents in the necessary time frame if this occurs. We understand that lunch is usually a time for students to spend time with friends and socialize. However, until conditions improve, physical movement will be restricted during designated meal periods. While campus water fountains will be fully functional, they are available as refilling stations only. Students should not drink directly from water fountains and are advised to bring refillable water bottles to school on an everyday basis. Elementary school students will be provided with 2 bottles of water on a daily basis as well. If your family needs meal assistance, please submit an assistance form to HISD's Wraparound Service Department via www.houstonisd.org, and that link will be in the presentation that we send you a little bit later on this evening. All visitors, with the exception of families enrolling a student, must have a pre-scheduled meeting before visiting an HISD campus. All visitors must wear a mask when on campus or HISD facility and will go through a temperature check screening before entering a campus or facility. We are aware of the current uniform inventory challenges retailers are experiencing across the country. And with that in mind, campuses will have a flexible uniform policy this year. We are committed to assist our families. Therefore, any HISD family needing assistance with uniforms should contact their campus or request assistance through the Wraparound Student Assistance Form. It is important that if your child is sick, they stay home until they recover. Therefore, this year's Perfect Attendance Awards will not be observed as usual. However, it is important to understand that attendance and grades will be counted this year. Students will need to meet the corresponding criteria towards passing course/grades. Athletics. Athletic activities will take place with safety protocols in place, including limiting the spectatorship in our venues to 50%. Spectators should wear masks while attending indoor athletic activities, regardless of vaccination status, and are highly encouraged to wear a mask while attending outdoor events. Field trips. Other enrichment and recreational field trips all other enrichment and recreational field trips are suspended until further notice. This doesn't apply to health and social service trips to provide students with eye care, dental care, and basic needs that really need to be focused on in certain families, all families. In-person gatherings are allowed as long as they can be conducted safely with attendees wearing masks and observing social distancing. When these steps cannot be implemented, such meetings and events should be held virtually. In the event of needing to close or partially close one of our campuses, such decisions will be made in consultation with health authorities and considering all pertinent information. As the superintendent of schools, I will have the final decision in reference to any campus closure. Let's talk a little bit about temporary online learning. Temporary online learning is available to students with a recognized communicable disease such as COVID-19, chickenpox, pink eye, and others. Students will be able to engage in up to 20 days of temporary learning. Students placed in temporary online learning must engage in synchronous online instruction for at least 4 hours per day to be counted present. I want to repeat that because it's a very important piece. Students placed in temporary online learning must engage in synchronous online instruction for at least 4 hours per day in order to be counted present. That is a piece that came down from TEA, the Tennessee Education Agency, and it was important for us to note that. Again, this presentation will be coming to you so that you can double back and take a look at these things. In the event of a student having to be placed in temporary online learning, they will receive an information packet that will include the necessary technology supplied by the school as well. To be able to be placed in our temporary online learning, it will require the proper documentation that should be submitted to the school nurse or designee. Once this verification occurs, the student will be enrolled in the temporary online class and have access to the hub to engage in online classes. Again, I want to emphasize that my priority is to keep our students and staff and those interacting with us as safe as possible. To do that, we of course need your full cooperation, but understanding that you can help stop the transmission of this virus and lower the infection risk for your students and people in our community. As a reminder, you will receive additional communication tonight, including a recording of what we just went through, as well as the actual Ready, Set, Go plan that I went through just in the last 20 minutes. If you have additional questions, please reach out to your campus. More than anything, thank you for your help, and please keep you and your child safe and have a great evening. Thank you very much.